A man trudges through a snowstorm with no obvious sign of direction, when suddenly a beast roars in the distance. The beast picks up the man and scares him nearly to death. What lies in wait for him? Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ethan.
And someone's knocking on the Mystery Machine door. Who do you think it is? Were you expecting somebody? Oh, it's kind of cold out there.
I think so. Let's go ahead and let him in.
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
Howdy, y'all. It is I, Stasz, or as y'all probably have known me better as Polish Lavender. Why did y'all just leave me out there in the cold? You know, like, it's kind of in the wind. That kind of sucked, but...
I'm so sorry. I think there's a monster out there. You should probably come inside here. It's nice
and
warm.
Yeah, something
We're
about
hotboxing the van right now, so...
Yep.
Oh, really? Like, that would keep us warm, I guess. Like, hotboxing, what's that? Is that a new term for, like, keeping it warm? Okay, yeah, sure.
Of course.
Sure.
So, yeah, just
Absolutely.
hop on in and...
Definitely keeping warm in here.
And we just hop on in and we'll just talk for a while until this cold spell goes through.
Indeed.
It is so nice to finally have you on, Stasz.
Yes.
We've been talking about you. We've been talking to you on our Discord.
Oh no, you've been talking about me? Should I be worried?
Well, we've seen like your comments and stuff that you leave on Spotify and all that stuff. So we've talked about that. And your fan fiction and things like that. So
oh, joy. That is a nice segue.
I've definitely mentioned the fan fiction at least once.
Yeah.
Because
it's been fun to listen to y'all, and really the way I found y'all's podcast was I thought to myself one day, I was just sitting there on Spotify, I was like, man, I wish there was like a podcast that like just went through like Scooby-Doo episodes like piece by piece in media, because all the Scooby-Doo podcasts I saw were like all interviews and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool, but you know, I want to hear like people nerd out as much as me about Scooby-Doo. And y'all's podcast popped up and I was like, oh, this is really made for me.
Well, we're here, we're doing the thing, and we love Scooby-Doo.
Indeed.
And we hope your audio survives this episode.
Yeah, we'll see. But Stasz, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself for those who don't already know, as well as like your history with Scooby-Doo, and drop your pronouns in there if you want.
Oh, I go by he, him. My history with Scooby-Doo is probably a lot of people's exposure to Scooby-Doo is my parents just were raised during that era of like the 70s and 60s, so it was like a cartoon show that they grew up, and they just got the VHS home media, and I would just watch it all the time, and I fell in love with it. It was even through a little phase I had in which I would dress up in a Scooby-Doo costume and pretend to be Scooby-Doo when I was a small child everywhere in public, and once I outgrew that costume, I would carry a Scooby-Doo doll that my grandmother gave me and dress up exactly like Shaggy, even requesting to get a haircut like Shaggy, carrying a Shaggy doll. And my mom was extremely patient and just bought me multiple pairs of the outfit until I outgrew that phase. So yeah, that is kind of my history. It's been always there as a childhood. Love it to death. And love Aliens Invaders, Zombie Island, and Witch's Ghost. Those have been kind of the ones I point to as like kind of the greatest when it comes to the animated movies.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, those are definitely high up there. And the Scooby-Doo show in particular, do you have a history with that? Or
I think I was like most people, I didn't realize it was not a part of the Where Are You? Because I remember getting those home cassettes and being really upset, particularly like this episode and like some episodes y'all would be covering like the next 3 or 4, and thinking that they were just part of the original Where Are You? And this episode I literally first found and fell in love with it because they had like the winter themed VHS of like Scooby-Doo. The listeners can't see me, but I'm making like a rectangle, but it had like the Scooby and Scrappy-Doo one about the Nutcracker, for those that know.
Oh.
The like weird short that they had like a walrus monster and the snow ghost is no fun from the Where Are You original series and this episode. So I thought this episode was part of the Where Are You because I knew it wasn't Scrappy area. And I just fell in love with it, like, oh, I love this episode. I love dinosaurs. I love this episode. I love Scooby-Doo. Love dinosaurs. I love this episode.
Yeah, this certainly isn't like a monster that is like expected. I always forget that this one has that specific design of like
it definitely stands out
dinosaur,
more than some of the other monsters we've seen.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's a T-Rex with fur. Basically.
I always get the title of this mixed up with the Snow Ghost one because they were so similar in like their pattern theme. That and because I was like, oh, this is the one.
Yeah,
it's like Creature Fright, Snow Delight.
The Scary Night with the Snow Beast Fright is this one.
See, yeah, because I got Snow Beast and the Snow Ghost. I was like, oh, it's this one. This is the one episode where they didn't have a Bigfoot or Yeti in the winter episode.
Yeah. They always gotta go to like one cold place every so often. I swear.
Well,
we gotta get the winter
Charlie,
outfits out.
you love the cold episodes because there's the winter outfits.
I love when they get on the different outfits that are like color coordinated to them. Scooby, for some reason, is wearing red, and it bothers me. But he's got to stay warm, I guess. Wear some pants though.
Yeah.
Come on. But like whenever we get winter outfits or like the pajamas or like I don't think we haven't had like beach outfits yet. I feel like
Not
we don't get
this
those
show,
until what's new, honestly. So
I mean, I don't know. You've watched more Scooby-Doo media than I have. So I'll trust your judgment.
Do I remember all of it at all times? No, because that is too much to contain inside one.
That's a lot.
Brain, and I have too many other fandoms for that.
True. Very
true.
See,
you just have to sacrifice some things for the greater Scooby good, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I guess I gotta just like erase my brain and then only watch Scooby-Doo, then stop.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure Charlie sacrificed Warrior Cats for Scooby-Doo.
I've never consumed Warrior Cats, so...
That surprises me, actually.
I know nothing about Warrior Cats.
Oh.
That was just a flashbang and a half of memory.
It's a fever dream. I've only read a few Warrior Cats books because I was friends with people who like them, and they're like, hey, you should read it. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It was too much. Though I did read a bunch of the Guardians of Ga'Hoole books, the owls.
Ah, yes. The cats and the owls. The most important factions.
Of course.
I was just a Goosebumps kid, so...
Goosebumps. Okay.
I also never read Goosebumps.
Oh.
I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah. I like the cover art for a lot of Goosebumps books. I don't think I've ever read one in my life.
That is a shame. It's like B movie or almost like C movie level of corny, of being so bad and sometimes scary. You know what I mean? It's just a delight. It is like.
Anyway, Scooby-Doo.
Sorry, we're already on a tangent.
It's okay.
No,
it happens.
It's all right.
This is what this podcast is. It is Scooby-Doo, and it is tangents about anything and everything. So we are in Alaska, and this Professor Kruger has flown them all up there because there's something really important he had to tell them in person.
Yeah, I do love that transition of like, oh, that guy was captured, to, hey, he invited us, and also here's a newspaper clipping of his face.
And he's making the exact same face as when the Snow Beast captured him for some reason.
It's hilarious.
Hey, you know that guy? Here's a newspaper about him. Like,
exactly.
Like, is this a shenanigan?
It might be.
I think that might be a shenanigan for how like ridiculous his face is.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Mentioning of faces and shenanigans, as like they fly by. Like, we see, like, these giant, like, totem poles that are, like, probably way too tall to be. And logically, like, the guy flies by them once, and, like, it takes, like, a solid minute to fly by them. And, like, Scooby starts, like, doing that weird body horror thing where he makes their exact faces and, like, looks back over to, like, the gang.
Yeah.
He certainly does. I would definitely count body horror shenanigan.
Correct.
That's one pet peeve I have is, like, are we going to count is, like, they have totem poles here, like, in the middle, like, kind of the Arctic, Alaska. Is that going to be kind of of shenanigan?
No, but the body horror will be.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily say what they said they're in the North Pole, and I don't know where exactly they are in the North Pole because there's also people here. So
I thought we were in Alaska just
I would
because
say
of
that
the
there's
people that were there.
civilization nearby. This
Yeah.
isn't the Antarctica episode,
Yeah.
so
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's not shenaniganery, but
No.
Scooby snoring 5 seconds before the body horror, I think is
Yeah.
shenaniganery because he
I was going to bring that up, actually.
he's like sucking in the poof from Shaggy's little winter hat every time he breathes in, and I was like, is he gonna eat it? Is he gonna like gobble up Shaggy's hat?
I mean,
he didn't, but
yeah.
It is one of those great bits of like, I love that like cliche bit in comedies where someone has like a fuzzy hat or something just dangling over them, and the snoring like of like almost eating it, like to the point of like they're almost inhaling whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we finally land, and we have to ski down this mountain hill.
I think it's just
Shaggy
a hill.
has learned to ski.
Somehow.
Shaggy's learned to ski since the Ethan, you remember the episode? It's the episode we always reference. I swear, every time now.
The Ghost of Bigfoot.
Yeah, the Ghost of Bigfoot. Since that one, he's learned to ski. Scooby has not.
But Scooby has not. We get some more shenaniganery here.
I mean, if you can't ski, you're gonna have like some shenaniganery of falling into a snow pile and surviving. At least he survived. He's okay.
He's just a dog. He'll be okay.
I do want to know why in the next scene everybody else is wearing their skis still, and Scooby's now just wearing snow shoes.
Maybe his skis broke. I don't know, or they're like too unwieldy for him to walk on.
Maybe.
In my head canon, it's just that he just got tired of them, and the gang was just like, "Hey, we know you're struggling. Go, just take these snowshoes we have. Like, protect your paws and your beans. Just, we know you can't ski. Just take these snowshoes." And also the funny
always
factor.
Protect the beans. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they arrive at the village, and Velma's like, "Hey, what? A giant monster must have stepped on these to crush them." Scooby and Shaggy are like, "Nope, we're getting out of here." And Fred says, we better go see what's happened to the professor. So we split up.
We do. First, Fred has to like grab Shaggy and Scooby like by their tails, quote unquote, one by his shirt, one by his tail. I always love when that happens too.
It just proves that like Fred is just super buff, because he has managed to hold not just a Great Dane, but also like a speedster like Shaggy by their clothes in the ice and hold them still.
Yep.
But anyway, just
if he can bench 220,
he can bench 220.
Bound to happen.
He can bench 220. Wow, it's so much. He's training to bench 221,
Exactly.
I love that gag in What's New, because they don't make like a half pound weight. It always increments of like 5 you increase. So like 221 is just always just a funny thing whenever I hear it. I'm sorry. I just love that. For those that don't know, like that don't lift, you always increment in like 5s. You don't ever go by a single pound. So it makes that gag just so much more funnier.
All right, so we're poking around in the igloos, and there's a polar bear.
Yeah, that's not good, guys. There's a polar bear
No.
and it's scaring us. It's right behind Scooby. Scooby's like, Shaggy, there's a polar bear. Hello? And they both get scared. They try to get into the igloo, and like it does not work. They just bounce right back out onto the polar bear.
Yep. They do get into the igloo though by
the wrong way.
By leaving them-shaped holes in the side.
I think I'm cutting that as 2.
Yeah.
I agree. Charlie, this is a little off topic, but have you heard the rhyme when it comes to bears, what you should do?
I have not heard the rhyme. I know what you're supposed to do, but I have not heard this rhyme.
Okay. So for North American bears, at least, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, good night.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to get big.
Well, that's what fight back. That's what fight back means.
Cool. I thought that was all bears. I didn't know there was
No,
separation.
that's just like black bears. Yeah, for grizzly bears or other big brown bears, you pretend to be dead, and then if it's a polar bear,
you're
dead. You're dead.
Well, I mean, you're already in the North Pole, so you're dead.
Yeah, it's bound to happen anyway. But they're inside the igloo, and they're, pun intended, floundering around with a bunch of these fish that are
literally the gang's like, what happened? Well, there was a bear. It's like, that's a fish, guys. You're hugging a fish, okay? But there was a bear outside.
Fred makes like the most disgusted face when he hears like Shaggy and like Scooby yelling for help. I know you don't talk like animation cells, but like I love that cell. Like I just want that plaster on the wall. It's just like such a disgusting look. Like even though he's like, oh, we better hurry up. It's like a look of,
He does.
oh my gosh, these guys,
Yeah.
these guys again. What is
Mhm.
it this time?
It's like, my stupid boyfriend. Ugh, what's going on?
And the stupid dog.
So they also explained that why there's so many fish in here, they're being hung to dry because the native people were, fishing for them. And we're going to hear a lot of a term that we should not be repeating in this episode.
Yeah.
Yay!
I'll be referring to them as indigenous or native people.
Yeah.
But as they're leaving this igloo, Scooby smells the pot that's over the fire in the middle of the room. And it's been a
smells
while
pot?
since we've had this gag, but he takes a drink of the soup that he thinks is in there. It's laundry, folks. It's laundry. Again.
If I had a nickel for every time, it'd be more
We
than
have
2 nickels
15
now.
cents.
It'd be
It's
so
gotta
much
be
more
at least
nickels.
3 now. Exactly.
It is a
15
bit
whole
that
cents.
never
I
fails to
love
deliver.
it. Every time this happens, it's my favorite.
It's a tried and true method of getting a chuckle out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scooby runs out because he's like, yuck. Oh, wait, everybody left me. And he finds a clue of a giant footprint. That's probably not important.
No, not
So-
at all.
Is it?
He runs to find the gang and tell them about it. And shenaniganery.
I mean, if anything, he's like
ensues.
swimming through the snow.
Yeah, he is.
Like, it is a shenanigan and a half because, like, oh wait, what happen? He hides behind like this mountain of like snow, shoves out extends his paw and like places it down, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna show he found like a track or something, and it cuts back. He made a giant paw print in the snow, like that's almost the same exact size as like the
Mhm.
the footstep, and I'm like, it's just for the gag
Bro,
of
how?
what logic? And they immediately it's like, oh,
This
it's
is more
a
body
giant
horror.
monster's footprint, and does it go on
Yeah.
like? And they just
Giant
go
monster
on, like-
footprint. That's what's happening here.
And like, okay, let's take like Scoof, where at? He's like, I'll show you. And I swear it's an area that they just walked past on the way out. Am I crazy thinking that?
Yeah, right. I don't think
No.
so. But also the background art in Scooby-Doo just repeats.
Yeah,
So,
there is no consistency.
so they're looking at it and they see a figure off in the distance, and Shaggy's like, "Oh no, it's the monster." And then Fred's like, "No, that's not the monster. That's a man with a dog sled."
And then
Scooby-
another trope happens. the
Sexy lady dog.
The sexy lady dog.
At least it
at
is
least she doesn't
human
have
this time.
tits.
I would say, at least it's not Sandy Duncan.
At least it's not Sandy Duncan. Sandy Duncan just came to Alaska by chance.
She may not have tits, but she has eyelashes, just so we know that she's not male.
Well, yeah, that's how you design a female of the species, I guess, is you
Mhm.
add eyelashes to them.
That and like she throws up her like tail and it's like a little boa.
She bats her eyelashes
like,
at him.
"Woohoo."
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like trying to hide. Can dogs even blush? I don't know.
No,
Then maybe
I don't
that-
think they can.
I think they have too much fur for that.
So what happens with Scooby? He is so in love that he melts the ice underneath him with how warm he is getting. Shenanigans.
Truly hot and bothered.
Yeah. As soon as I saw her in this episode, I was just like, okay, so there's gonna be a time in this episode where she has to like kiss somebody. Like
Mhm.
she's gonna have to kiss Scooby.
Mhm.
This is that's just
Them's the rules.
them's the rules. Especially when there's ice around and you probably have to melt him.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that,
So-
like they do like the heart thumping thing too, and like it goes up to his neck before he
Mhm.
melts,
Yeah.
which is always like a
Yep.
classic deal. But like the man they
Mm-hmm.
see is like introduces himself. He's like, "Oh, I'm the chief of the village," and the reason I'm not saying his name is like I'm pretty sure it's like the derogatory term from like one of the
really?
like early
I didn't
films.
know that.
Yeah, it's like the name is
Hmm.
like comes from like a early film made about the indigenous people of like Alaska, and it's like they deemed it that, and a lot of the indigenous people are like, yeah, it's not like a slur per se, but it's like, yeah, we don't like that term, like that's not a good term because it follows the family.
Okay.
So like I don't want to say the name, And I think like
yeah,
the
we'll just refer
proper
to him as the chief.
the chief.
If that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And I met like they introduced him and like, oh hey, he's like, oh you're here for the professor, which makes sense like given the remote area. He's like yeah, you know where he's been. He's like,
Who else is around?
he's like,
Yeah.
nah. He's like, last time I saw him, does he say something like, oh, last time I saw him, he was like in the laboratory? He's like, you kids need to get out. No, he says like he was carried off by the Snow Beast.
Must leave this place.
Yeah, which also, like, I'm 95% sure these folks don't have a legend like that, just given the track record of the writers for these shows.
Yeah.
Or if it does, it doesn't look like
not.
that.
That is something I will actually, when we get to the trivia, I will talk about, because that's interesting tidbit of trivia.
Oh.
Because I did some research about this.
Oh, good.
Before, and
okay.
the short answer is no, the indigenous people do not, but it is a legend of that area.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
So listener, stay around for the trivia.
Absolutely.
We'll get there.
So the gang goes to the professor's little hut. He's got a cute little hut, and there's some guy in here. We have shenaniganery because Scooby is knocking on the door. The door opens while Scooby's head is turned around, and he's knocking on the guy's face. And this man does not look happy about it.
No.
And they like ask him like, hey, the chief sent us over, and they're like, hey, you need to get away. He's a nerve victim of the Snow Beast. Get out. So this is like the second person that they've met that's like, get out of here. Just go.
He's more rude about it though. Like the chief was at least like, you're here for the professor, aren't you? He's right over there. I think you should probably go because there's a scary monster. We're all leaving. And this guy's just like, get the fuck out. Leave.
Okay. I get that this man is French, like to a T. He has a very cunty bob.
He does.
Like, look at this man.
No, I see it.
I see it. Cunt.
I understand.
Truly. He both serves and is a cunt.
Is he gay or European? I don't know.
Yes.
Everyone's favorite game show.
Is he gay?
Depending on the time of day, the French go either way.
Yeah, I was just gonna make a joke that
just like
it's bingo, same old. But it's just like, yeah, he's a jerk, and he's like just leaves, and he has like a bunch of papers in his arm as he's leaving, right? Like files on files on files.
Yep, and he goes off in his little snowmobile, and they're like, okay, fine. Well, he left the door open. We're gonna go in this hut. So they're looking for clues. Scooby is looking for snacks because there is a piece of cheese left on the floor. There's a mouse in a hole that takes it away, and Scooby's like, no, I want my fucking cheese. Give me the cheese. Reaches into the mouse hole. And presumably the mouse, puts the mouse trap on his hand instead. So mark that on your bingo boards. Scooby has angered the local animals.
A small animal.
Yep. A small animal, specifically. And Velma finds a clue. It's the totem poles. I wonder if those are important, huh? And someone is knocking on the door. I don't think they should answer it. Scooby also doesn't think so, because when he opens the door, it's an eyeball for a monster.
Do we count this like as a shenanigan itself?
That is absolutely a shenanigan to me.
Yeah, and then he turns to Shaggy and says, "It's for you."
I love that, and like not only like they see like not only like when it pans out, like the guys like the monsters like lifted up the building like shaking it, right, try to shake them out, like that.
Yeah,
they have to like not notice anything. Like they have to have no observational skills of the environment to see to this point.
I mean, when we made them in D&D, we gave them all very low wisdom scores for that exact reason.
Nope. Everybody failed the perception check. I'm not gonna lie here. Everybody failed.
So Scooby is trying to get away. He hops in a canoe and starts, or I guess it's a kayak because it's
a kayak. He's trying to kayak away, but
he's trying to kayak away on the snow because the Snow Beast crushes it
with his foot.
Yeah, and Scooby runs into an igloo. And we get another shenanigan of the Snow Beast playing that shell game where like somebody will put like a little ball under a cup and like switch it around, but just with Scooby as the ball.
I think the canoe is a shenanigan, and then the igloo shell game is a shenanigan here.
Correct.
And like,
oh, thank you.
the monster gets so flustered, and like Scooby just jumps out the top of it and runs off. And at this point, I was thinking, because ignoring like the Pierre, who his like partner in like this research, getting out of there, I was like, okay, maybe it's the chief trying to get people away from this area. We don't want any scientific research. This is tribal land. Get out. It immediately goes out the window, because like you see the chief running, and the guy just picks him up and like presumably like tosses him down the galley, like eats him, like supposedly, like looks like he eats him, like because he folds him down his mouth, and you're like, oh no. And I was like, okay, well, it can't be the chief anymore, and we've met like 2 people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think the monster just got so mad that he couldn't get Scooby, so he's like, I'm just gonna pick up the first guy. Hey, look, it's the chief. Okay.
Cool. And Fred's like, all right, Scooby, we're going to take the chief's dog sled, make these dogs run. And he's like, okay. And Scooby just pulls a bugle out of nowhere. And that somehow works.
Yeah.
Another shenanigan for the bugle.
Shenanigans for bugle.
Correct.
Yes. They ride the dog sled all the way to the totem poles, where we find another clue. Oh, what's that on the ice? It's like, it's liquid and it's black, and I don't know, it's probably not important.
Yep. And
like
Shaggy is close to one of the totem poles and says, it sounds like this totem pole has a heartbeat. So Scooby pulls out a doctor's lab coat and like bag out of nowhere with a stethoscope, and yeah, he can hear it too. But the existence of Dr. Scooby is a shenanigan.
By God, he went to med school. Doctor. He should have the right to pull it out for a gag, okay? You know how long 8 years is in dog years?
That's fair. That's like 50 years for a dog.
Oh God. Don't make me think about Scooby's mortality.
Hey, he's part alien, he's immortal, he's fine.
I don't know whether it's funnier to think of dog med school as like such a short time, but the equivalent of like 8 years, or just regular 8 years.
Yeah.
Human years. I don't know which is funnier to think of as a gag.
Yeah, I don't know. But the Snow Beast finds them, they split up again.
Shaggy and Scooby do like that diving into the snow bit,
and Scooby, because he's under the snow, has no idea where he's going and runs straight into the Snow Beast's foot.
Yeah. The rest of the gang also were like digging in the snow, and they all ended up way far away. So they're fine. Scooby's just like, oh shit. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. Snow Beast is like, fuck you, I'm gonna toss you away instead of grab him for once. Turn him into a snowball, and he just keeps going until he gets to
should be like one of our little hints. Because like he just does like a little like when it cuts to back before like soon a commercial, he does like this little like swipe, like get out of here, and then it cuts to like when it comes back, like he's full on snowballed him out.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just find that as a funny visual. Do we count this as a shenanigan of the constant changing size of this monster? Because it'll get ridiculous as it goes on. The scale of him.
I didn't pick up on that. Do we want to do that, Charlie?
I also did not pick up on that.
Well, because like he was big enough to pick up a building, with 2 hands, and then I guess you're right, Stash. He does change size.
It'll get even more ridiculous like later on, but like I just want to ask in general: do we count the changing size as once?
I guess we could say that, because that's a very cartoony thing to do, is just mess with scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he does pick up like people in his hand, and they're like, normal size. Like you can see the whole of the person, but then he's also grabbing the building. Yeah, I can see it.
Sorry to complicate things. I was just wanting to ask.
You're good. Yeah, Scooby runs into the totem pole. The snow goes off. And not only that, inside and all the way up, which I guess is another clue, actually, as to what these things actually are, because they're hollow on the inside.
That's true. It's also another shenanigan. I think, like,
correct.
The snowball was one, and then him going all the way up it is another. And he, like, gets stuck. So he's fallen, and then he gets his bum stuck in there when the monster like is trying to get at him and blows through it. There's a bunch of snow that falls.
Just a wild time.
He also does a little bit of body horror again, because his face becomes like totem pole-ish as there's like snow on him. And he's trying to be like, I'm part of this. Don't look at me. I'm part of this totem pole now. And apparently it kind of fools the monster.
Until the snow makes him sneeze, I guess. I don't know.
This is when Scooby also turns into a block of ice.
Yep.
Because he gets so cold. He's very high up, and all the wind is blowing on him, and all the snow is on.
On the way down, no less.
So he is blown all the way to the ground. And this is where, again, exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Mhm.
The female dog is like nuzzling up against him and his ice, and he melts it all the way. He's like, oh, there it is.
My gosh.
Always has to happen.
Always.
So now they have some tracks to follow. They can find out where the Snow Beast went. It's a cave.
Ooh.
There's always a cave. There's always a secret
Always.
lair.
But this one is winter themed.
Exactly. We get some more shenanigans. Scooby slips on the ice and pushes them all off a cliff, which I guess turns into a slide.
Yeah, this is fine and normal behavior, and totally not cartoonish. It's very cartoonish.
It's very much a shenanigan.
So they're like all the way at the bottom of the thing, and they're like, well, we're stuck here now, I guess. Fred brought rope.
The himbo made a great decision for once in
And
his
this-
life.
The rodeo
He's
himbo.
got to make those traps, and
Correct. And Velma's like, okay, Scooby, you're the lightest, which I highly doubt, first of all. Velma's definitely lighter than him.
no, it's Shaggy. Shaggy's the lightest.
Oh, okay.
Do you see how stickish of a man that is?
That's fair.
He weighs
but
like
he's got
90
height.
pounds soaking wet.
Good point, good point.
Velma's
And
thick.
Scooby, that's true. Velma is jacked and muscle is dense. Yeah, I'm sure Velma also has some of that too.
The equipment, like, Daphne is bringing a whole wardrobe and makeup with her.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
of
gonna say
course.
Daphne would probably be the lightest, but she probably has like too much stuff in her pockets.
Yeah. So he stuffs a pillow in his coat, says he's too fat, and he's like, nah. Shaggy's
Where'd
like,
you
no,
get this?
stop that.
Where's this pillow coming from, Scooby Doo?
Shenanigans.
You have no pockets.
Shenanigans. So Scooby does end up climbing the rope, and who's at the top? It's the Snow Beast. Rar.
Literally, it's like right his giant foot, and Scooby's like ah, and gets rope burn on the way down. It's like, okay, well, we're not going that way anymore, guys. Let's run the other way, please. Any other way.
And they come across like one of my like an amazing visual, like horror visual, I think.
Yeah.
Of like the dual caves.
Truly.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that, if you feel that in any movie, animated or not, that's an amazing gag. Because like, oh my gosh, it's the Snow Beast eyes, and it's like dual tunnels with lights down them, which is how they find their next coup.
Yeah.
I also just love the shape of them. They kind of look like monsters' eyes too.
Yeah.
So like the eyes of the
It's very
intro.
Yeah, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Scooby, of course, needs a Scooby Snack bribe. Apparently, the Scooby Snacks are magic because he can float now for like a few seconds.
Well, yeah, he's high.
Shenanigan.
So we each take a tunnel, and Smart Gang comes across a submarine at the end of their tunnel.
If I had a nickel
tunnel.
for every episode in this season that there's been a submarine involved, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice in a row.
It certainly is. It's not going to happen a third time.
At least they're not talking about how they're professional, experienced scuba divers in this one.
Oh my
This
god, did
is
you know
true.
that they're professional scuba divers?
Professional scuba divers. Experience.
Good lord. Oh my gosh.
It's my favorite thing about them.
In this episode, they're just professional skiers, except Scooby.
Exactly.
It's true, it's true.
Shaggy and Scooby are sneaking around the other tunnel, and the Snow Beast somehow sneaks up behind them.
How
No,
does
that
how does a creature that large sneak up behind them? Yet
This is why I asked if the constant scale change was going to be
Yeah.
a shenanigan.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah, I get that.
this is definitely a scale change here.
Because once they're
Mhm.
in the cave, he changes like twice on his
Yeah.
size.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they were in the house, his eye was the size of the door.
Right.
Yeah.
And at this point, his entire face is like the size of Scoob.
Right.
So, no.
Speaking of which, Scooby jumps into Shaggy's backpack and zips himself inside. That's one shenanigan.
I knew it was important that he had a backpack.
Shaggy runs away, leaving his backpack behind. The monster picks it up. Scooby does like a potato sack race to try to get away from the monster
Because he's just holding on to
inside the bag.
the straps.
Yeah.
The straps have elongated.
And he gets slingshot back by the straps onto the monster's face, and he's just like, I'm gonna shut your eyes and run away.
You can't see me, I can't see you. Like, just pretend you
That's
didn't
exactly
see me.
how that works.
So I think that is one, technically.
Yeah, is that a sequence or is that multiple?
Maybe Scooby getting in the backpack might be one, and then the rest of it is another one.
Okay, that's fine.
I think.
Yeah, we can roll with that.
Goodbye, monster. Where's Shaggy? They're running away. He's running. He should be running a lot faster because he's so much bigger.
Right. They get on an icicle and slide down. The Snow Beast tears the icicle off the ceiling. And Scooby, when he gets to the ground, uses it like a pogo stick.
Yeah.
Somehow.
But right before it, is the pogo thing on the icicle like before or after like they make that wall of ice? Am I getting the sequences backwards?
The wall of ice is after the pogo stick thing.
Okay. For some reason, I got it backwards on my end, which leads to another cross-dressing shenanigan that I love.
No, it's okay. Indeed.
Yeah, so Scoob and Shag like throw a bunch of like ice and make like a giant wall. Monster obviously plows through it easily. And then Shag and Scoob are like, oh, we're gonna become dentists?
Yeah, monster dentists.
Monster dentists. And obviously Scoob is in drag. He's got some lovely lipstick on and everything.
He's giving Trixie Mattel here. Like if Trixie Mattel works in a dentist office.
And they're brushing the monster's teeth with a giant toothbrush.
How many shenanigans is that?
You know, I'm gonna give it one for the costumes. No, do we give them for each of the costumes, or do we usually just give it for...
I think just the costumes is
okay,
one.
the costumes, and then the giant toothbrush, I think is separate, because they didn't walk in with the giant toothbrush.
No, they brought it out of the Mary Poppins bag they have with them.
Exactly. And of course the monster like growls at them and they're like, okay, goodbye. No thank you.
Smart Gang has found Professor and the Chief. They're locked up in a room. Not tied up, they're just in there.
Yeah, we don't always have to have people tied up in these episodes.
But now, everybody's out. And Fred's like, okay, now what we gotta do is capture the Snow Beast. And Shaggy's like, okay, sure, that's simple. Cool.
Totally simple. It's just a giant monster that may or may not be the size of a house. You know.
Depends.
Depends on the time of day. Fred's plan is ice. Fred just wants it to slip on ice.
I mean...
Come on, Fred. You can do a better trap than that.
All of Fred Jones's creativity for traps just leaves his body as soon as he's in a winter setting. It's just purged from him.
Because in the That Snow Ghost episode, their trap was a bucket of hot water
that froze. Canonically, Fred is bad
like, you know what?
In winter.
That's his disadvantage in settings in D&D is just
there you go.
Anything winter-based.
I guess so.
So
yeah, we're gonna use slippery ice, and we need another Scooby snack bribe because who's gonna lead him onto the slippery ice? Scooby Dooby Doo.
Scooby. Mm-hmm.
And what the fuck is the monster doing? Like, is just kind of like, yeah, it looks like he could be sleeping. Like his
just
butt and tail are hanging out of a cave, and Scooby chooses a choice.
That's
here.
It certainly was a choice. Just blowing raspberries. Sure.
With the tail, I thought he was like a pull it or something.
I think he was gonna like bite it or something.
Or something like that.
No,
it's just, hey, I'm gonna make an annoying sound. Are you
looking back at it again with no sound? It looks like Scooby's straight up licking it. It looks like he's licking his tail. Wow. And I'm just like, Scooby, why are you licking this monster's ass right here, right now?
Hey,
this is not the time or
from
place.
Behind too.
My dog grooms my cat by licking under her tail, so I don't know.
This is not the time nor the place.
But it works.
My dude.
It does.
It does.
Snow Beast trips on the ice, slides into one of the totem poles, and...
Scooby does too.
Yep, and breaks it off of the oil rig that's inside of it.
What? No way.
Crazy.
Totem poles are completely destroyed by this.
Yep, well at least that one is.
And so is the monster's, like, entire suit. Hey,
yeah.
The unmasking is just like the monster was destroyed, actually. There's a guy in there. Who's the guy?
Yep. It's the professor's assistant, the Frenchman with the cunty Bob.
It's cunty Bob.
Jean-Pierre.
That's a great drag name, if any of you out there are looking for that. Any drag kings out there who are looking for inspiration? Cunty Bob? Go for it.
And you also have to have the hairdo to go with it because
Oh, of course, that's part of it.
That's now going to
Oh
be
my
etched in my
God.
mind. He's no longer like Jean Baptiste, like
I can't believe
John
it was
Jean
a gay man.
Baptiste. It's just Cunty Bob. Cunty Bob is the villain in this
Yep,
episode.
that is his name now.
Can't believe it was the gay man who was the villain of the episode once again.
Tragic.
Tragedy.
He was a theater kid, but he was the mechanical one that did all the scene changes on sets.
Truly. But we get our final shenanigan of the episode after we get the whole mystery explained to us. That the assistant found some oil under the ice. He didn't tell the professor. The professor found out, and he and somebody else have been sneaking the oil off in those submarines that the gang found earlier. And Cunty Bob carried him off in the Snow Beast and locked him up so that he wouldn't tell anybody.
Yep. And the shenanigan.
Charlie, what's our final shenanigan?
This is once again we have Scooby fishing with his tail, but like last time I think he still had a fishing string of some kind and a hook.
Yeah.
This is just his tail. This is just his tail the whole time. And he hooks a walrus, and he's trying to impress the cute girl dog, and he hooks a walrus in with his tail. Bro, he's trying to use his claws to keep him grounded, and he flies, and his butt goes a million different directions as he's sliding on the ice this way and that way.
Just turns himself into a pinball.
And when he finally stops, she kisses him, he melts the ice underneath him, and then he catches a fish on his head. This is love?
Yes. Love is melting ice because your partner kissed you on the forehead. Just fantastic.
I think so.
Obviously. So is that 2 shenanigans or just 1? Because, I'm tempted to count the fishing of the walrus as one sequence separate from the pinball stuff.
Oh, I was gonna say the kiss is a separate one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, that's fine. We can roll with that.
I think that's 2 altogether.
Yeah, for
also,
sure.
Another thing I noted as they're ending the episode is the gang gets all of their stuff together. Did you see their bags?
Yeah, they all have their first initials on there.
Velma's got an orange duffel bag with a red V on it. Daphne's got a purple one with a green D on it. Fred's is blue, presumably, I want to say with an orange or a white F on it.
I would think
and
white.
Shaggy's just got the
personally.
backpack.
Yeah, Shaggy's not that fancy. He doesn't have a green bag with a red, I guess, N or S on it.
Hard to say. That is the episode.
Indeed.
Scary night with the Snow Beast Fright, for sure. But, my dudes, what time is it?
Stash, you want to do it with me?
Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
It's terror time again.
So here we are at the trivia. And Stash, we can save your trivia for last because I don't think that's on here.
Yeah.
But
our trivia for the episode. The Examiner newspaper mentions that its whereabouts has a population of 555,000. It could also be a local newspaper from the game's hometown, Coolsville? ? Where they had known Kruger from. This is all speculation.
I'm going to skip this second bullet point.
Yeah.
Just in the interest
we've
of
already
sensitivity, because we went over
we've
that.
We've kind of covered that.
Yeah. The Snow Beast growl sound effect can also be heard in 1982's The Thing during the dog transformation torch sequence. Interestingly, both of Arctic settings only came out a few years apart. That is actually one of the best pieces of trivia I've ever read for this show.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Goated.
Are we skipping this next one too?
Oh,
Because I think Stash, you mentioned.
Yeah, it's just the name of it's a homage to the 1922 documentary film about the people, and it's in the Library of Congress. But doing some research, there's the people tribes of that area. They really don't like that because it's kind of become a derogatory term for that. It's not exactly a sort, but it's they just kind of shun it. It's okay, they just gave a name to this person. This isn't the actual. It's kind of like a mixed bag on that.
Oh, okay.
Fun things all around. 1945's Road to Utopia has a scene where Bob Hope melts into the snow when he sits next to an attractive woman, much like how Scooby does in this episode. Is that the origin of this? Is it not a shenanigan?
I honestly don't know.
It's
still in a movie.
I think
it's in a movie, so it didn't happen in real life. Right?
But But is that a cartoon movie?
I don't think so, because I don't think Bob Hope was like a voice actor. I think he was like a
No,
comedic.
yeah, this is a live action movie, so they were able to pull that off in a live action movie in 1945.
I want to know how they did that, but I don't think we get to know that.
That is, yeah.
The creature's design may have been based on the visual description of a creature described in Partridge Creek in the 1900s. The suspect, Jean-Pierre Baptiste, may be a reference to a character named Father Pierre. Oh god, it's a French last name. I will try my best. Lavagineux?
I'd say that, yeah.
In a story about a fur-covered dinosaur in Alaska called the Partridge Creek Monster.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is all the wiki has for trivia. Stash was the trivia here on the wiki, and we want to know what your trivia was.
Oh yes, this is, you have to click on like the actual creature to get this wiki, to take it to the wiki page. But this creature's design is based on like a description of a legend in Alaska about a dinosaur with white fur surviving and killing other creatures, and it's kind of seen like as a science fiction report, because and I even saw that it was, I think the name of the villain mirrors that a little bit, because there's like a Pierre, there's like a Father Pierre in there, so it kind of matches that, and I just like that. And this random detail like on the deal is it's like, oh yeah, this creature also bears with a resemblance to like a Eucurlanus huani, which is a predator that was found with feathers in a snowed environment decades after this episode came out. Just a pure coincidence.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome.
I just love that it's based on like a cryptid.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually kind of did some research, maybe, for this one.
Maybe.
Or they got lucky. I'm hoping. All right, well, how many shenanigans did we end up with, Ethan?
Charlie, we have a new 4th place.
4th place? Oh my goodness.
Yes. Not quite meddling, but very close. 35.
35, my dude. That's a lot. That's a lot of shenanigans.
That's a lot of shenanigans. That's more than one. So whose side are we on? I'm gonna say the chief, right? That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah. I think the chief is probably the correct option there. We didn't get a lot of the professor, so
no, we don't really know what he was doing up there.
And the chief has dogs.
The chief does have dogs.
Therefore, correct option. He likes dogs. Dogs are good.
Dogs are good. Stash, do you have a differing opinion there?
I am kind of like on the chief and the professor side, because like the professor, he had the design of like those, the way I see like saw that those totem poles and was like, hey, there's something up with them. And maybe he was going to report his colleague for like potentially doing something bad on like tribal land. So I'm kind of like on the professor,
that's true,
the actual professor, and the chief's side.
I forgot to read into that a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, we didn't get a lot of him, but
no.
So, Chief and the Professor.
I don't know if it's that he had them or they just found Pierre.
You were asking us earlier how we thought about this episode, and it can't get a full rating because of some of the racist things going on here. But
yeah,
I don't think I can give it any higher than a 3 personally. Like, this is just a bunch of shenanigans, but make it snow.
Just shenanigans in a snowy trench coat.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say 3 for me.
Yeah, I would also agree with 3. It is fun, and I did really like that bit of trivia. So
yeah, Stash, I know you're a little biased, but whatever you want to rate it, I'll take it into account.
I'm going to be honest, because looking back, because you always have nostalgia for things that you grew up with. And watching this episode back and seeing that, like, ooh, the racial aspects, like, ooh, that took it down, like, at least 1 notch for me. And honestly, the mystery is kind of not that great, but I love the creature design. I don't know why they haven't ever brought him back. I'm going to say like a 3.5.
Sure.
Right.
And a lot of that is being carried by shenanigans and the creature design.
I'm with you there. Okay, so that gets us 3.17.
Oh, we love a beautiful little decimal place.
Yep. All right. So that brings us to the end of the show. Stash, do you want the people to find you online? If you don't, that's fine.
Yeah, I would if I can plug like the fan fiction I've been working on. You can find me on fanfiction and AO3 and Tumblr. For the AO3 and fanfiction.net is Polish Lavender, as can be, and I'll send you all the links. It is the ongoing AU fan fiction series I am doing of Scooby-Doo that I've been talking with y'all about and sharing in the Discord and getting currently commissioning art for, because I think I found an artist that liked the first one, and I said, hey, can I commission you to draw them as you read them?
Yeah.
For sure.
But that, and I share it also on Tumblr, which is Biblically Accurate Angel Wing Begonia, which I just nerd out on.
Cool. That's a great username. I love that.
Oh my goodness. Tumblr usernames are always amazing.
Yep.
And I just retweet some good art that I find of certain fandoms that I like, and I also try to post these stories there as well. That way people that may not have an AO3 or fanfiction.net can enjoy them.
I love that.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. You guys should go follow Stash on the medias. And you can also obviously find Stash on our Mysteries in the Machine Discord server, which you can join for as little as $1 a month on our Patreon.
But if you want to do what Stash did and be a guest on the show, we have a tier for that too.
We do indeed. Now, y'all, I just need to prepare you. I can't wait for the next episode.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Y'all are going to be eating good.
If you really like it, we'll see how this goes.
Y'all are going to be eating good these next few episodes. Like, you will be eating good until like a episode that makes this one look like a saint on tribal stuff.
True.
Oh boy.
True.
Like,
boy.
it's almost as bad as
Can't wait for that.
the episode that shall not be named.
Yep.
Hey, but most of the stuff in this back half of the season are bangers, I will say.
Yeah.
So
and hidden gems.
now the episode is over.
It is.
And that means we have to let you go, Stash, into that colds again. And Ethan and I are gonna split up and look for clues for our next mystery. Bye.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Mysteries in the Machine would like to thank its $10 and up patrons, including our meddling kid patron, Polish Lavender. Thank you so much for being a part of our community and our Discord. You can follow this podcast's socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthemachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram.
People stop sending me notifications. That would be great, actually.
Why do you think I have Discord muted all the time?
You know, see, there's certain times when I want notifications. I just forget to mute Discord when I'm doing things.
That's valid.
The rest of the time, I'm just like, I want to talk to friend.
Scooby-Doo.